It's time for another Norse Pagan pet peeve. History grifters. So in theme with the last two, just more people not citing sources, just talking out their ass, having no actual historical basis. They're just trying to get you to click on these videos and give them a little heart click or a like click or whatever. Literally just clickbait farming. Yet again. Here it is.
Did you know Vikings were high as fuck in all their battles? Let's talk about it.
Sure, let's talk about it. No, they weren't. History will show, and people with combat experience will know, you cannot fight high, or you can't fight optimally high. Let's put it that way. Obviously, if you're on PCP or something like that, there's certain benefits, but those benefits come at a cost. I've actually done a video specifically about the Amanita muscaria, the mushroom that she's trying to talk about. They did not use drugs before they went into battle, and there is no evidence of this.
So Vikings are known throughout history for their ferocity and success in colonial battles.
What's a colonial battle?
Where they conquered damn near half of Europe.
No, the Vikings did not conquer half of Europe. They raided quite a bit of Europe, but as far as actual colonies go, England, Ireland, Iceland, later on Denmark colonized Greenland, but they did not colonize on like the same level that, let's say, the Romans did, for example.
And made it part of their empire.
What empire? Show me. There was no Viking empire. First off, Viking is a profession, not a people. That's something she gets wrong. Second, they never had an empire. The Scandinavian countries themselves have never been unified. Harald Fairhair tried, but did not succeed. They are now individual countries, and they have never been united. I think she's getting Roman history and Norse Scandinavian history confused. I'm not quite sure. But again, that's just a sign of these grifters. They just take little things and they try to sound smart. And you'll see, she uses big sciencey words. I don't think she knows what they mean.
However, what we don't talk about is the fact that their highest class of warrior, known as a berserker.
Berserkers were not considered high class. In fact, they were often ostracized. People did not want their loved ones marrying berserkers. They were not at all seen as this great thing until later. Toward the end of the Viking Age, some kings and jarls might have a kind of an elite force, but berserkers were never seen as like the peak of warrior. That's literally just a pop culture thing.
We're always high going into battle.
Wrong again. We have no evidence whatsoever that any Norse people used the Amanita muscaria, and we have no evidence whatsoever that the berserkers specifically used the mushroom. I have a video about that where I go in depth. I read some papers. It's a few years old, so forgive me on the audio and all that. That has cited sources. Go there. It's on my YouTube. Berserkers did not use drugs, and the side effects of the Amanita muscaria are actually counterintuitive to the effects you want going into battle. See, and this is another thing. A lot of people that have never been in combat situations, haven't had combat training. I'm a former Marine. I work in private security, have for almost 8 years. I have a lot of training under my belt. I've been in various martial arts since I was 9 years old. And that's something I notice of a lot of these people that have no experience with combat and with things of that nature is they make these assumptions. You cannot go to battle high. The list of side effects of the Amanita muscaria are extremely counterintuitive to any kind of combat situation.
So high on what, you might ask? Well, predominantly two substances. One being the Amanita deathcap mushroom.
The Amanita muscaria is not the deathcap mushroom. That's actually a different mushroom.
Pretty scary stuff. And the other being a seemingly innocuous herb called hensbane.
We have found hensbane in the graves of Volva, not in the graves of warriors. And we don't know how it was used. It may have been used for ecstatic purposes, dream journeying and stuff like that, but we actually have no idea as there are no direct sources for it. So again, she's making shit up.
So the Amanita has a bad rap. People like to say it can kill you, but honestly, you have to eat a large amount for it to kill you.
This is not only wrong information, this is dangerous information. The societies that have used it for a long time, like the Sami, for example, they have ways of treating it. I don't remember the exact processes because it's been a while. I believe there's some kind of cooking method, but you can also drink reindeer urine. Once the reindeer eats it, that urine that they produce has the effects of the mushroom. I don't recommend trying these mushrooms, and honestly, the information she's giving, it not only gives, I'm white and I don't know anything about any of the indigenous cultures that I'm talking about, but it also is giving information that might literally kill people. Please do not listen to people like this. Please do your research thoroughly if you are going to even attempt this. I'm not sure about the legality of the Amanita. I think it varies from state to state, place to place, so look that up. But please do not listen to these grifters about any kind of use of chemical substances like mushrooms. They might seem natural, but I mean, venom is natural, right? Just because something is natural doesn't mean it's okay.
In modern times, the psychedelic use of Amanita is a little bit off. I think people take too much, and they describe an inability to even stay awake. They describe amazing spiritual awakenings, but in a near dreamlike state, which is pretty hard to imagine a Viking carrying a 50-pound sword.
50-pound sword? The fuck? That's heavy as hell! Again, this is a sign that she has no combat experience whatsoever. She has done zero research regarding any of this. If you are swinging a sword, a weapon of any kind, over and over and over again, you do not want that shit to be that heavy. The average weight of a sword is like maybe 2 to 3 pounds, and like 3 pounds is a little on the heavier side. Like, if you have a 5-pound sword, that shit's heavy as hell. You are swinging it over and over again. The weight's dispersed, but oh my god, that's insane. Stop taking all of your takes from anime.
Trudging through mud for miles while in a deep religious sleep. So I'm betting that they were using it a lot more in moderation than modern users do.
Modern users, like the Sami people, who have literally been doing it for generations. They know what they're doing. This is where she's invalidating indigenous people. There are other Siberian cultures that also use the Amanita muscaria. They are neighbors of the Norse, so it's plausible that the Norse may have used it, may have partaken in the use of this mushroom, but we do not know for sure. And of course the Sami are going to know how the hell to use it. She didn't do any research about this thing before she actually started talking about it.
Another herb which they were using, known as hensbane.
Again, they were not using hensbane. We don't know how it was used. We have graves with vulva that had it in their graves, and we don't know how they used it. This was not written down. We have no evidence of its use. Do not have any evidence of this use. She is making this up whole cloth. I cut the rest of the video because it's just useless technical jargon. You'll notice on her page, she just so happens to have a holistic blog. That's what she's trying to do. Not unlike the last person that I debunked, she's just trying to draw you in to another website so that you can spend money. And here's the unfortunate thing. People seek out holistic things and they seek out magical things because they are trying to find some kind of control in their lives. And grifters like this are coming at you and telling you that they have the magical cure, they have the serum, listen to them, and life will be better. They do not. That is not how magic works. That is not how any of the things that they're trying to sell you works. She is sounding scientific. She's using all these big words. And if you don't know what to look for, and that's the thing with a lot of these grifters, if you don't know what to look for, you can get sucked in. And then the next thing you know, you're paying crazy amounts of money that you may not even have. A lot of these people are taking advantage of poor people, may not be in the financial situation to be able to take the hit of giving to these grifters, and they are more than happy to take your money. I don't know if this person exactly has some kind of like sign up thing on their site or something like that. She is still trying to sell the idea of a miracle cure, and I don't know why, but for some reason these people just come out of the woodworks on TikTok, and you need to know how to inoculate yourself from them, and that is with cited sources. Do your research, and do not trust anyone that is trying to sell you something. So with that, happy doom scrolling, and watch out for grifters.